I am so excited. I am joined today by Miguel Martinez. Miguel is an award-winning screenwriter who crafts high-concept drama horror stories that explore trauma, the human condition, and the lengths we will go to for our found families. He is a Disability Belongs Fellow for the 2025 cohort. His work has earned recognition as a finalist in the public domain Screenplay Screencraft competition and the Screencraft Screenwriting Fellowship. With a strong foundation in the industry through his experiences in film distribution and marketing, he strives to create meaningful horror features that connect on a profound level. He has produced 6 features as well as some shorts, and his goal now is to invest in himself as a writer and director. Welcome, Miguel.
Hi, thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited to chat with you today, especially about this incredible sort of spooky Halloween edition, because we're talking all about horror filmmaking.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yay. And this is an area that obviously you have worked in a lot. And so, is this something that you always saw yourself doing? Did you always see like horror films as part of your trajectory, or was this something that you sort of found your way into? How did you end up in this beautiful subset?
Um, so without telling my entire life story, um, I always like leaned more to films and like whenever like my dad would take me to see a movie every week, uh, and it would be like a really nice escape from everything that was happening with us when I was younger, and like he just made sure that like I always had that to like lean back on a little bit. And so I always knew like, oh, I think this is in my future somehow. And then when I finally like learned like, oh, people make this, like the people create this thing that I like so much. Uh that that's when I was like, oh, okay, so what part of this do I want to be a part of? But it never really went into horror as much as like horror was always a thing that got a more visceral reaction out of me. But like besides like I think everyone has that memory of like maybe watching the miniseries of It for the first time and like hiding behind the couch or something. I remember my mom wasn't a big proponent of like, oh, ban stuff from our house, but she had read something or she had seen something in a church about like Nightmare on Elm Street. And so Nightmare on Elm Street was like the one thing that she's like, hey, you can't watch this. So naturally, I was like, "What is this? What is this thing?" She told me not to watch, and so I went to school and I was like, "Hey, do any of you guys know what Nightmare on Elm Street is?" And one of my friends was like, "Oh, I have a CD of the soundtrack of like the score," and so he gave it to me, and I went home in my little CD player under the covers and like listened to the music of the movie and tried to imagine what the movie was like.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think that was the first time I created a horror movie, which is just me with the image of Freddy and the music of Nightmare on Elm Street, which ended up being like that music is crazy. That music is very, very terrifying. And so I think from that point on, I was like, oh, like this is horror is just more like visceral and it's more like the emotions are so much more heightened that this is kind of where I want to live for a while.
I love
So
that. That's so cool. And so I loved hearing how you took the soundtrack and you just went, you're like, this is what I have access to at this point. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run with it. And if that means I'm imagining an entire movie in my head, so be it. And that's so cool. And that just goes to show like your creativity and how you were really like, okay, I'm connecting with this. And when you said like sort of that connection, I think every little kid gets that at some point where you're like, this cool thing that I'm loving, some adult somewhere gets to make this. They get to be a part of creating this thing that I love. And so it's just so cool to hear about that experience. And that sort of goes beautifully into what I wanted to ask you about next, which is you've obviously been on the creation side of your own projects. And so, is there a particular component when you're diving into a new project or when you're like in the thick of it? Is there one particular part that you just like really love?
I think. when I'm diving into a new thing, I like um thinking about how how can I say this? So when starting a new like project and stuff, I always also think about like how I can share this with people who have the same ideas that I have. And like what I mean by that is like I've always loved that film was like collaborative, and I've always learned that like ever since first started doing this, that I have some cool ideas, but if I also bring in other people's ideas, we could be better. It could just be better and bigger and different. And so I've never been against really using other people's imagination in like my stuff, even like when I was making stuff in like high school. Like I never believed in like the one director with one vision and it's one thing, and I've always thought that was a little boring. And so, and it wasn't fun to make when like when I was like, oh, everyone's gonna do exactly what I say. And so I think the whole process of collaboration, I think, is the most fun part to me, and the thing that I look forward to when I start something. Um, so just to like type that back into like kind of what I do, one of the projects that I filmed, which is the one you saw, it's called With Your Life. That was started because an actress from my other short film called Latusa, she had such a good time on set and she really liked it and everything. And so she reached out to me and she's like, "Hey, I want she's an actress and she's an actress and like she does a lot of commercials and she was like, "Hey, I want more theatrical stuff and I want to be a lead in that stuff. I have some money saved. I want to fund something. Do you have anything you can pitch me that we can make together?" And so I got a bunch of pitches together and I went to her, and the pitches were also like, "This is how we're gonna make it." Um, so because one of them was like a road trip movie, so stuff like that. But she really gravitated toward this idea of With Your Life, which is uh, quickly it's like this idea of this woman who is stuck in an abusive marriage, and she is living on the husband's family ranch with his where his family also lives there with their daughter, and she has to like one night she has to sneak away and she has to take the daughter with her, and it's using tenets of like the slasher movie and through like a lens of domestic violence, and that really spoke to her. And so I was really excited to like go through this together where she was like what she was going to work on it too. We were like we developed it together. uh she was a producer on it, and like she did things like she really wanted an all-female, or as close as we could get to an all-female crew. And so like most of the crew was all female. And it was just a really really fun process of like her having an idea or her having a vision of what this could be, and then me sort of like having my vision of what this could be and executing on both of them. And like even like I've never, and like having like a really good producer, like I've never really like been texting and like 1 in the morning, really excited, like editing in front of the thing, and then sending her like bits of pieces that I've exported as text messages and being like, "What about this?" And her being like, "No, what about this?" And then just going back and forth. And then like that was just a really, really fun process for me. And I think a really cool thing that I'm gonna be looking for that for like my next project, the next project. So it's really cool.
I love that it's like the ability to both collaborate, but then understanding that when you bring your ideas and her ideas together, that also creates so much energetic space for the ideas that haven't even yet brought themselves to the surface. You're just creating this like very aligned energy force almost around your project, and you're able to take it to such a beautiful place. So that's, I mean, I'm getting like energized just listening to you talk about what a fun experience that was for you. That's so awesome. Um, so, oh no, please go ahead.
Oh no, I was just kind of yeah, and like and it goes all the way through. It goes from the writing, like the idea, to like location scouting and like getting other actors and like it goes all the from beginning to end and like now like going out to film festivals and stuff like that's something that people do together. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, being able to have that person who you know that creatively you get along, but also it sounds like you've also been able to develop a friendship, a working relationship where you enjoy spending time with this person. And so the entire process then becomes enjoyable. Even the parts that are maybe like a little bit like it's a long day or something, it's okay because you have, you know, sort of gone through this project with this collaborative effort, and it's just it makes it so much better to go through.
Oh yeah, it's so much of this industry is vibes.
Yeah.
Like everyone has the skill to like a lot of people have the skill for it, but like it's so much like, oh, do I want to stay on a set? Do I want to like be on a set for like over a certain amount of hours with this person? And if the answer is no, then you're not, then it doesn't matter if you can do it, you're probably not going to get the job.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is that, and so that's why people continue to work with people they already work with because they know that they could stand you when like it's been like 10 hours and they haven't had water or like they understand that. So yeah,
You can see someone at their worst and still want to work with them. That's when you know
yeah,
that you found a good working relationship. That's so fun. Um, so that it kind of leads into my next question, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I think I would in my mind, there's a connection. I don't know if anyone outside of my mind would see it. But as far as horror filmmaking and your experience with it, are there any myths about either horror movies or the experience of making a horror movie that you would like to debunk?
yeah. There is. So my wife and my wife is an actress, and so we've done a lot of stuff together. We always talk about this thing and it's we talked about it before, but we really got like words for it when we were watching an interview with Toni Collette, who you know who Toni Collette is, and then
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was a humanitarian and everything, and
yeah.
she's so you know Sixth Sense. She's Toni Collette. Um, she was doing an interview, and somebody asked her about Hereditary and about like how did you like go home after that like what did you do because like it must have been so difficult to get into that role and get to that place and then get yourself out of it and like how whatever and then she just smiled and she's like it's just a movie. She's like it's just a movie, it's not real, it's okay. And then so there's a thing about some actors are just really they go really method and they like mail their co-stars like dead rats or something. But there's something about it where we're like filming something horrific, and then but once you like yell cut, like everyone's just kind of laughing and it's fine. And then so it's like oh, and then as people ask my wife like oh how did you cry? What did you do? And she's like it's and she's like, "Are you okay?" They're like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "It's just a movie.
Yeah.
It's just acting. Like it's just
Yeah.
we're just acting. We're just it's." And so I think what I'm trying to say is like, um, it's not it's not not that it's not that serious, but it's more that it is just a movie, and you need to be able to separate that from just not just the emotions, but like I remember in yeah, well, I remember like in high school, that I was filming something and this actress like slammed herself on the floor, and people were like, "That is so good," but like we didn't really get the shot because we didn't know that she was gonna do that. And then she's like, "Let's go again," and I'm like, "No, we're not gonna go again. Don't do that." And she's like, "No," and then I was like, "No, it's just a movie. Don't do that." It's just we're in high school and it's just a movie. Don't do that. And and then so like and I've also carried that over now where like don't don't ruin yourself for this. We're gonna try as hard as we can, and we're gonna put all our effort into it and everything, you know. But like, especially, I have epilepsy, and so like, I really need rest, and I really need like to not be as stressed about things, and because that's really a trigger for it, and because light isn't my trigger, I think it's stress, and so a big part of it is like maintaining an organized and efficient, but also like laid back kind of set where everyone knows what they're doing, but they also like they're very understanding about it. And so when people are like, "Oh, how did you keep your set hours so low?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just organization, but also like I'm not going to ask someone to do something crazy. I'm not going to ask someone to be up for 15 hours like and like working on our thing. It's just a movie. Like that's sort of what I want to, and I think that's true. That's like a thing I want to debunk for filmmakers in general. Uh, I think everyone thinks about this as like, oh, you need to be super uh into this like work, and you need to be like, so you need to give yourself completely to it, and like to an unhealthy level. And I like to tell people, especially like people in the disabled community, of like, you don't have to. You don't have to be unhealthy when you're making a movie. You could be perfectly healthy making a movie, and you just have to organize it, I guess, to that point.
Yeah.
And like vouch for yourself and vouch for other people that need like accommodations too.
Yeah. It sounds like you can be successful and set and hold healthy boundaries for yourself. You don't have to sacrifice one in order to maintain the other.
Yeah,
I love
I think
that.
yeah, I think that's the big thing that I want to debunk.
And that actually ties in perfectly with my last question. So for any young filmmakers, screenwriters, actors, people looking to go into production at all different facets, particularly if they are drawn to horror, do you have any advice beyond healthy boundaries? Do you have any other advice for those folks?
Yeah, I think it would be uh I heard this somewhere. I think it was J.J. Abrams. I heard this somewhere where it was like, don't learn how to make movies, learn what to make movies about.
Mm.
Because the learning how to make movies will come to you. And it'll come to you just by being there and like watching and doing and stuff. So like when you're starting out, try to have experiences and learn how to funnel those experiences into like stories and stuff. Because I my when I watch movies, my what's the word? Um the my ability to like go along with you in whatever you're telling me,
Mhm.
like my ability to accept the world that you give me is pretty big. Like I'll accept anything. Like any weird thing you throw at me, I'll roll with it. And the only time that like you will start losing me is when I'm like, oh, you're not really trying to say anything. This is just being weird just because you want to be weird. Like I like I'm game for almost any movie unless but I feel like you would have to try to say something, have something to say, anything to say. And I think that's what I would tell younger filmmakers. Like I'm watching these like I've been all around with these last two short films that I've done. I've been all around this festival circuit, and you watch really really great, really well produced movies, and you're like, wow, this looks great. But like that had nothing to say. It had absolutely nothing to say, and I don't remember it. But what I do remember is like even the movies that maybe weren't well produced, and they had something really good to say, and they said it really really well. I still remember some of those movies, and I think about them sometimes, and I like look them up on like Instagram or something, and I follow the filmmakers, and like we talk and stuff. Like that's what you're gonna remember is you remember like the how things made you feel, and less than like, oh, that had really great lighting and like you spent a lot of money on whatever camera you did. So I think that's what my advice would be.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that and for sharing all of your insights into horror filmmaking. This has inspired me. I know I'm one of the many people in Tepper's writing group who's doing a horror script for the night for this next 90 days. So I'm feeling very inspired to take another look at my messaging. So thank you so much for sharing your insight. I so appreciate it.
See, we're
We're
doing it right now.
we're collaborating. Incredible.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is great. I really like talking to you.
oh, awesome. I have been enjoying this conversation so much. I just love talking to people about what gets them excited, which is why I wanted to do this. It's so inspirational. And I would love to do a special Friday the 13th questionnaire since this is
Yeah,
going to be the Halloween episode. All right.
really.
Wonderful. What is the first horror movie that you ever watched?
The first horror movie I watched, I'm gonna say Don't Look Under the Bed.
Ooh, okay.
It's a decom.
If it's different, what is the horror movie that made the biggest impact on you?
Um, Probably Alien, because I didn't think something could scare you that much.
Yeah, Alien is horrifying. Did you ever get a memorable trick or treating treat?
Yes. One time, this person gave us like little like earbuds or something,
Mm.
but they like had like pre-recorded stuff on them.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't even know. I've never heard of that in my entire life. But you put them
no.
on, and they felt like Bluetooth,
Yeah.
but they weren't Bluetooth. They had like a chip in it that was like a pre-recorded thing, and it was like Bible verses. I used to live in Texas, so it was like you started it and you wanted to connect it to your iPod or something, and it was just like started like the Bible.
Oh my God. That is very Texas.
It was nuts.
Wow. That is a memorable trick or treat. I don't know if we could call that a treat, but that is a memorable trick or treating
And I think it was this
experience.
man reading off of his own Bible.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I imagine that that was wow. Yeah. That's so interesting. Oh, that threw me off. I was expecting
Yeah.
apples, Bible verses. Okay. Wow. If you could work on any horror franchise, what would it be?
Any horror franchise. Um, I love Nightmare on Elm Street, like I was telling earlier, and I love it because of how weird it could be, and you could just go as crazy as you want, and I really like old Italian movies, like I like Suspiria and everything, and like 70s stuff like that, and I like the different lighting, and I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street is an opportunity to have really fun lighting.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really cool. They need you on the team.
Yeah.
What is your favorite element in a horror movie?
Um, the music, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a
It's
big music person, so
it's crucial for a horror movie.
yeah.
Do you have any Halloween traditions that you do?
Um, we watch a lot of horror movies. We usually go to Halloween Horror Nights. That's like a tradition to do in October, when we can afford it. But so that's something we decorate, but I guess everyone decorates. Um, we have two black cats, so we just kind of celebrate all the time.
That's so cute. I love
So
that.
yeah, that's good.
Who is your favorite horror movie villain?
Villain, horror movie villain. I'm gonna say, gosh, I really, really like. Uh, I'm gonna say Freddy because I don't like how most horror movie villains are just sort of like there's like nothing there. And I don't think that's scary enough. I think it's scary when they talk. I also like Chucky because he talks a lot. And one of my favorite horror movies is Bride of Chucky because
Mm.
the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is like Bride of Frankenstein meets the Muppets or something. I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah, they have to have some substance. There has to be something there.
yeah.
In your opinion, what is, if there is one, the most overdone horror movie trope?
Ooh. Okay. I think the most overdone horror movie trope. Oh, I still feel like we're stuck in the kill your gaze trope.
Mm,
And so, and it's mostly like, especially if you watch like slasher movies, you're like, oh, okay, well, I know that person's not the killer because they're gonna die because they're gay because that's just what happens right now. And
yeah,
I think we're still stuck in that, and I feel like we need to jump out of that. Just even just for the way that we end up watching movies because that's still a thing.
yeah,
Someone
I
say that.
agree. I agree. Do you have a favorite Halloween costume of yours from the past?
Yes, I have a good costume, and like I like made a little blood thing on it, and I wear it so much. I wear it for a lot of parties, and I wear it for a lot of like rewatches of movies. And so I made this film called La Chusa, and we realized as we were like literally going out the door to make the movie, we realized that we didn't have like enough costume to make it so that you couldn't see the person underneath the mask and the whatever because it's like a creature. And we're like, oh crap, we need like something black. And I was like, I got it. So I just ran and grabbed my Ghostface costume. And so underneath our creature from Lechusa is a Ghostface costume.
Oh my God, that's the type of like insider information that's the stuff that people
Yeah.
love. That's
It's like
so
it's like
fun.
oh the Michael Myers mask is just what's his face? Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, it's not. And then you look at it and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, it totally is. Question. Is there an upcoming horror movie or scary movie adjacent that you are most looking forward to?
The thing I'm most looking forward to this year is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Because
Yes.
I love Frankenstein. I love Guillermo del Toro. I have a sip of water right here. I love Guillermo del Toro, and he's probably my favorite filmmaker. And Frankenstein might be my favorite book, and I'm pumped about it. And I'm one of those weird people that doesn't really like the the Universal Frankenstein. And I like Bride of Frankenstein because that's just better. But I'm yeah, so I'm really excited for whatever that's gonna bring us.
I am too. He's the one who did The Wolfman, right?
No, that's
Oh,
what's his name? That's the Saw guy. No,
yes.
yeah, the I forgot what his name was, but that's the Saw guy. Because
Okay.
in Wolfman he saws his leg off, and you're like I
Yes.
see it. He did the thing.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense. I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Lee Winnell, that's his name.
yes. Um, okay. What is your favorite part about Halloween?
Ooh, my favorite part about Halloween is that you get to see how creative people want to be, like either with costumes or with decorations or like and and it is like a privileged thing to be able to do, but I really like to see what people are into and how yeah, so that's always really fun. I like to see all my friends like on Instagram like what they dress up as.
It's
So
a
that's really cool. Like I like seeing horror movies, but I watch horror movies all the time. So yeah.
yeah, that's not seasonal, but the it's a really nice outlet for people's creativity.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. I like that too. So you kind of talked about this earlier, but is there a song or a score from a horror movie that you still think about?
Ooh. Yeah, I do think about Nightmare on Elm Street, but um and I consider Pan's Labyrinth a horror movie. So
Mhm.
like there's that score from Pan's Labyrinth. Like na, I think about that sometimes. And like I have a playlist I do when I like when I write horror movies, and sometimes like I listen to that. So I also like the it's not a movie, but the intro to Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
Mm.
I love that. I love those things. So it's more like sad gothic horror score. Even
Yeah,
though I really do like Suspiria and Nightmare on Elm Street is really cool too.
yeah. I like that, the sad gothic. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and unlucky number 13. What is the horror movie that you wish you could watch again for the first time? Oh, hello. Hello.
This is ET.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so beautiful. Those green eyes.
Yeah,
Oh
he's great.
my God. Oh, he's so spooky in the best way. Oh, he's so
He's a
cute.
little baby.
Oh.
Okay, so a horror movie that I could watch, I would want to watch for the first time.
Horror movie that you wish you could watch again for the first time.
That's a good question. Hmm. I remember, and like this has become a huge thing right now because I recently published an article on my Substack about like trans horror and
Yes.
like
Yes, I read
the
that this week.
oh you did okay
Yes.
uh and like that stuff. But I remember the first time I watched Sleepaway Camp, and it was when I was just starting to like get into like weird horror movies and horror movies from the 70s and 80s and like horror movies from like other countries and stuff. And it was right at the beginning of that where I was like, oh, do I like this stuff? And I watched it, and I remember I watched it like by myself on my computer, and then it ended, and I was like, oh my God, this feels like something I'm not supposed to be seeing right now. And like now you can look back on it critically, but the moment I watched it, I was like, oh, whatever this feeling is, I think there's more of it out there, and I need to find it. And so like yeah, and so I went out searching for like those kind of like movies where you're like, oh, maybe the idea of like horror being this thing that like talks back to you or talks back to like what's happening in the world more so than even comedies do is like this really really potent thing. And like yeah, like I think Sleepaway Camp is a really big sort of like push into that world, even though like it's not the best and it's obviously like kind of problematic and strange, but like it's I would like to see it again with like fresh eyes because now I introduce it to people, but I already know what I'm getting into. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. It's so nice to be able to kind of reflect on that and be like, I wish I knew now. I wish I could go back into that with a different lens. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. This has been so fun.
Yeah.
I am like I love the idea of horror, but I'm also very scared of it. So to be able to talk about it from a little bit more of like a objective lens, I maybe want to say,
Mhm.
but to be able to talk about it without like being scared by it makes it feel much more approachable. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to watch your other short. I didn't get a chance to watch both of them, but I'm excited to watch the other one. And so for anyone who's watching or reading and wants to connect with you, where can they find you?
So they can find me at Macabre Martinez on Instagram, and my Substack is, I'm just double checking.
I will also link all of it as well.
Okay, that's good. But my Substack is, oh, it's also Miguel Martinez. That's good. That I'm glad I did that.
Thank you so much, Miguel, for your time. Incredible conversation. I'm feeling inspired. Beautiful
Thank
Halloween
you.
conversation. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
being willing to do things a little spooky. I
no
so
problem.
appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.